Good morning, everyone. So, I started something new on my new Facebook page, Ozark Healers and Witches, and it's called Twisted Shadow Work. And so it's a different type of shadow work, growth kind of reflection. And what I'm doing is I'm drawing a card each day to give me an energy to really focus on. And so yesterday was misunderstandings. And the questions that you would be asking with that is, where are misunderstandings going on? Where is there conflict? Because most conflict is due to a misunderstanding. Sometimes not, but a lot of our conflict is. And it's because we see things from different perspectives. Even if we're in the same situation together, my perspective of that situation could be very different from your perspective, because our perspective is built on our previous knowledge, our previous experiences, and it kind of shapes how we see things. And so it was a deep dive into misunderstanding, seeing where they were, why they were there, especially if we were having a conflict somewhere and it was all due to misunderstanding. And how do we come back from misunderstanding? So it's those types of questions that I asked during the day and put out to whoever was going to do this twisted shadow work with me. And then at the end of the night, I went on to the Ozark Healers and Witches page, and I posted a thing about me and what I went through that day and what I experienced with that energy. And so I'm going to continue that, but I figured I would also do it here on the YouTube channel. That way other people could follow along too if they wanted to. So this is day 2. If you want day 1, go to the Facebook Ozark Healers and Witches page. Day 1's on there. And so day 2, I ended up drawing from the Yule deck, Seasons of the Witch Yule deck. So if anybody's interested, that's where this one's from. The other one from yesterday was from their Beltane deck. And so today I drew family and telling stories. And that's interesting because family is, I'm heavy into ancestor work right now. And my yesterdays, the misunderstanding had to do with a family member. And so today it just kind of rolls into that. And so family. And I'm going to read what's below each one. Thy love is present in the presence of thee, a comforting veil that warms the heart and hugs the soul. And then telling stories says, what words so tender can be spoken so bravely unless they are true from the truest of words. For me, especially with the work that I'm doing right now with my Ozark grandmothers and the conflict that I dealt with yesterday with a family member, it really, how many stories are we passing down and telling? How much do we really know about our family, whether it's your chosen family or your blood family? How much do we really know? What were things like for them? What do they really like to do? I know that especially when my mom passed, I realized how much I didn't know about her as a person. Because as a child, we look at our parents through child's eyes. And it's a different kind of relationship. And she told all kinds of stories from her family. And I remember bits and pieces. I remember some stories fully. But I realized she told me a lot about the past. And all that, but she never really talked about her stuff, her stories. I know some of them, especially just gathering from other family members and things, but it really got me thinking, especially when I drew these two cards this morning. It reminded me how important stories are. And that's how we used to pass information. That's how we used to pass our history. And we don't really do that much anymore, it seems. We're so focused on books that we forget that hearing stories and relaying stories using voice is really important. And so today I'm going to be focused on these, and I already know where I'm going to go with it. There are a lot of stories and a lot of things that my husband and I have found as we were going through our ancestry, and our people were in same places over and over. And I think it was last week, we took a trip up to Old Appleton, Missouri, which is where a good part of my Ozark women are buried. It's where they were from. Polly and her husband, John, are the ones that actually were part of starting Old Appleton. And so I've learned a lot of stories, and I have other stories just from living family or family that's passed within my lifetime. I don't really have much living family. So I'm going to do that with my kids today. I think it is a kind of rainy day, so it's a good day to just snuggle down, make some snacks, and tell stories, and start relaying these stories and talking about ancestors and where they were, and what cultures they were from, and things of that nature. So as the Twisted Shadow Work part, for you, what kind of family stories do you have? What do you think might be missing? What maybe you don't know, or maybe, think about if that person was gone and you couldn't get those kinds of stories easily, what would you want to know about them? And what stories are from our ancestors or from our history, whether that's land where we live or blood ancestor, any of that. What are our stories? What are the stories we're passing? And what are the stories that we're passing from things or people that are close to us? I highly recommend starting the Twisted Shadow Work with an inner reflection, asking all those kinds of questions, and journaling. At least at the end of the day, do some journaling about your journey with that. What came to mind? What was there? Is there a specific story you found, or one that you were able to tell? And you don't have to share that publicly. This is just for you. I will be sharing mine, just because that's what I'm going to do. Anyway, so have fun with it and go deep with it and see what changes.